afternoon to you. My name's Wayne. I am the lone Cybertronian. Thank you very much for joining me on the next review. So I said I was going to go through the Combiner Wars Stunticons even, as the Legacy series seems to be reintroducing them. As I say, we have already seen Dragstrip. So I'm expecting the whole new team and a new Menasor. So I figured I'd go back and revisit one of my favourite combiners in their previous incarnation. And I thought I'd start with the leader. So this is Combiner Wars Motormaster, a figure I am quite partial to, it must be said. So what did I think of this guy? That is the big question. So I do like him, but how much do I like him? Well, that's what this review is all about. So let's see how we get on. Okay, here we go. I'd forgotten how tall this guy actually is, so I've had to prop up the camera a little higher than usual. Yeah, he's a tall drink of water, but he's well proportioned. We did have the G1 Stunticons back when I was a little lad. My brother actually had him, and I remember looking at Motormaster and thinking, well, that doesn't look much like the one in the cartoons. Obviously he's got like the head hood and everything, and it just looked a little bit strange. So when I saw this guy appear for the first time, I was like, yep, that's the one. That looks much better. He is missing the truck cab feet, which is a bit of a shame. But that's okay, you know, I can take that for what it is. I'm really looking forward to seeing the new one, because I'm hoping that they do kind of combine this one with the other one, so you get the full the cab feet and everything, and it looks a bit more G1 accurate. But as an updated Motormaster, I really like this figure. Strangely enough, I play the Transformers Earth Wars game as the Decepticons, and I was really surprised that they didn't use this figure as the Motormaster in the game. They use a third-party one which has got rocket pods on the shoulders, which is kind of cool, but you'd have thought they'd have used Hasbro's actual version, so I'm a little bit surprised by that. Anyway, let's get on with the actual review himself. So, as you can see, he's got some nice detailing going on. Not masses of it, but enough just to make everything stand out. The chest plate looks nice. Little bits on the legs there, just some cog work. Plenty of vehicle-looking bits on the arms, so you've got like the truck grill there. A little bit of kibble on the arms, but nothing that's too much. I don't mind that. I mean, you know, if you really want to, you could even double it as laser cannons or something like that. I really like the head. It just looks really cold and sneery. I don't think the eyes are even coloured. They're just kind of empty looking. That's got a character all of its own. Just rotating him a little bit. He does have a little bit of a backpack, but I mean, that's not much at all. And even if you weren't going to combine him, he's still not a bad figure in his own right. Like, there's no combiner bits hanging off him or anything like that. Everything does move into place quite nicely. I'm not going to go through the torso mode here. I'll do a review of Menasor in, you know, as the combined thing when I do that. Yep, so feet and legs are nice as well. He's nice and stable. One big issue I have with this figure, both in this form and in Menasor's form, is the hips are a little bit strange, and they don't quite hold as well as they should, and they seem to be one ratchet click out of place. Not quite so bad when it's Motormaster, but when you combine it into Menasor, he really seems to have some stability issues. I don't mind. I actually really like the combined version, but that's something that I had spotted. Posability wise, so the head, as you probably noticed before, is on a ball joint from what I can see, so plenty of range of motion there. Forward and back with the arms, no out to the sides though, probably due to the combining gimmick. We do have some elbows going on, and we do have a bicep swivel due to transformation. There is no wrist swivel or anything like that, because these fold back and reveal the combination joints there. We do have a little bit of a waist swivel, and his ab crunch goes the other way, so he doesn't technically have that. Legs do come out to the sides on a nice... It sounds like a heavy ratchet, but it's not. And as I said, there's a bit of play in between the ratchet points, so it just means that he wobbles about a little bit. But the legs do go out to the sides, front and back as well. we've got some knees, so he bends back all the way. Rotation in the legs as well, looks like both. Oh no, it's just at the knee. So we've got a bit of rotation at the knee, and the feet also have a little bit of up and down in them. No heel spurs or anything because you just need them, and no foot tilt or anything like that, not that he needs it anyway. He does stand in a perpetual A shape, if you can see the feet there, look. So he does have a perpetual power stance on the go, which is fine for a character like this. He does have a weaponry. So we are packing a couple of rather unusual looking weapons. So we've got what is supposed to be a blaster of some description, looking very sharp and pointy, and also a sword. Now, I always consider Motormaster to be a bit of a swordsman, with the original one coming with Menassor's enormous blade, which is also carried over into Earth Wars. So I'm completely fine with both accessories. And there you go. And he just holds them like that. So one big blaster and one big swingy sword. And to be fair, I'm really happy with the accessories. I like these better than the Optimus Prime versions, because obviously there was a repaint and remold of, a retool of this mould into Optimus Prime to do Combiner Wars Optimus Prime, and he had two rifles which clipped together, and I much prefer Motormaster's weaponry as opposed to Prime's. But yeah, I really like the robot mode. As I say, it's not G1 accurate in the toy form, and it's missing the truck feet, but it does look quite cartoon accurate, which was something I really appreciated, and it's made me want to get the new one, or at least have a look at the new one when it arrives and see what I can do with it. Anyway, that's enough gushing about how much I enjoy the robot mode. Let's have a look at that truck mode. And here we go again. Here's Motormaster in his truck form. Not bad at all. So, as explained earlier, it is just the truck cab as opposed to the full cab and trailer that you're expecting with Motormaster. As I say, I think that's mainly because it was originally, they thought about repurposing it as Optimus Prime, so they just designed it this way. Again, not G1 accurate in his truck form either. So before it was more the normal flat-nosed truck with the square grille, if I remember right. This one looks like a more updated version. Kind of a different kind of truck going on here. But I'm not complaining. I think that's a solid-looking truck cab. Plenty of rolly wheels. Detailing's nice, but because he's predominantly grey, you kind of lose it a little bit. I do like the purple there on the striping, but see, you've got the purple windscreen, which I must admit looks really nice. But you'd have thought they'd have carried it over onto the sides here, and they haven't. They've just kind of done the little edges there. It would have been nice to have seen those filled in as well. But I guess you can't have everything, can you? He does have a little tiny Decepticon symbol right in the middle. But yeah, I do quite like this truck form. It looks, you look at it and you think, well, it could be Movieverse Galvatron, but colour scheme like that, that's clearly Motormaster. It could have been better. I'm not going to say that it's great. I'm not going to say that it's perfect, but I'm more than happy with it. It does have a trailer hitch on the back. Can't think of what you'd attach to that, if I'm really honest, but one thing I know that does attach is the weapons. Now, the two weapons actually stick together. The sword actually has a hole on the opposite side there, and you can see there's two tabs that come off the gun, and it just tabs into the side, and then you lift up this section here, which is the thigh plate for Menasor, and you can just plug it in to the back there. Sword's on the other side, so I'll plug it into the opposite hole. And I think you can actually plug it into that trailer hitch as well, but I think it looks it looks worse when it's this far out. At least there it's got some stability. So, yeah, not the most subtle of weapon storages, but that's what you've got. And obviously you don't have to use that, and you can just take it off and fold the waist plate down just to hide those two holes. But yeah, there you go, Motormaster, Combiner Wars in his truck mode, which does roll. Yeah, I'm still pleased with him. As I say, he's not the best figure in the world, but he certainly scratched my itch. And as the torso for Menasor, I still am quite pleased with him. I am looking forward to seeing the Legacy one. I was thinking initially that I didn't really want to get rid of my Combiner Wars Menasor. I do quite like the combined figure, even though the individuals aren't, well, in some cases aren't great. But the more I've thought about it, and the more I've thought about what they can do with it, the more I've thought, actually, I might look into it a little bit more. So I haven't bought Dragstrip yet. I want to see what the whole team look like before I go ahead and buy buy any of them, because I don't just want one or two Stunticons. If I'm going to get them, I'm going to get them all, and I'm going to have Menasor. I'm not a massive fan of the way in the cartoons the limbs, they just seem to just tack onto the side of Menasor, which I think is what they're doing for this line for Legacy. I've seen Dragstrip splits in half, so he doesn't so much form the arm as more a covering for it, where obviously in G1 and Combiner Wars the vehicles actually form the arm itself. So jury's out, so I'm kind of torn, and I'll see how it looks and how it feels. But I do have a soft spot for Menasor, and I do like the Combiner Wars one. I think when he's combined, stability might be an issue, but the look of him and the feel of him, like the vibes he gives off, I absolutely really like him. But anyway, so that's Motormaster in both robot and now in his truck form, which, as I say, I'm more than pleased with, And if the Legacy one does turn out to be something I don't like, I'm perfectly happy keeping this. Absolutely fine, no problem at all. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me on the review for this one. As I say, I will try and do the entire team, and probably Menasor in his combined mode as well. So I'll try and do at least a review a night. And we'll see how we go. So thanks very much for joining me. As always, if you've got any requests, throw them at me. I do have the complete Combiner Wars collection as far as I'm concerned. Titan's Return I've got, Power of the Prime's a reasonable collection, and obviously Siege, Earthrise and Kingdom. I will be getting some more Legacy stuff in sooner rather than later as well. So if you've got any requests or anything from the Movieverse or anything like that, by all means let me know and I will do my best for you. But until then, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.